All right, folks. So we're rocking Dewalt today. We got the Dewalt XTREME 12-volt brushless impact wrench. Got a Dewalt 3/8 18mm socket, and we got, I tell you, one of the best torque wrenches for the money, guys. I remember this came with an entire kit. Came with a breaker bar, sockets, a flashlight for like $70. And it's one of the best half-inch torque wrenches I've ever owned. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to have a little fun today. We tested this on some lug nuts, all right? I was using a 22mm socket, a 21mm socket. We're going to go down to an 18, because remember, Dewalt says this has 200 foot-pounds of nut-busting torque. All right, so we're going to see what we can do, how high we can get it here. All right, we're going to start at 100, all right? Oh, I should show you first. We're at 100 foot-pounds, okay? Now, I should be able to do this fairly easily. All right, so we got it set to 100 foot-pounds here. All right, should be no problem. 18mm nut, 18mm socket, ready to rock. Man, very comfortable. Let's see. We got her on, let's put her on high. All right, let's see. All right, no problem. At 100. Let's move up to 125. Let's set it up to 125. $120, and we're at the 5 point. All right, let's see what we got here. Did it click? Did it click?
I think so.
There we go. All right, 125 foot-pounds. I don't see how this is doing 200, but we'll see what it can do. 125. So we know that that can't do it. Let's see if the little Milwaukee Remember, this is only rated at 100 foot-pounds. All right. So the Milwaukee was able to do it. The Dewalt wasn't. You know, I don't know. I get a lot of questions on this, a lot of comments of, you know, you got to make sure the battery's completely charged, 100%. And I should have showed you that in the beginning, but it is 100% charged. You know, something that is this light and this, you know, compact, you know, 200 foot-pounds, guys, is no joke. That big Ryobi, I forget what it's called, the first brushed Ryobi impact wrench. I mean, that thing was a monster. And let me tell you, that had trouble doing 200 as it started getting older. So this little thing right here, now, this is lighter than this. And obviously it's more compact as well. But one has a brushless motor and one has a brushed motor. But, you know, like I said, unless I have one that is busted, defective, I've been talking about this for over a year, how this has nowhere near 200 foot-pounds. You know, in my video, it couldn't even do 130 foot-pounds, guys, taking off a 22 millimeter lug nut. All right. I had people say, well, the battery only had two bars on it. That was why. I'm like, 2 bars? It shouldn't matter if I had 1 bar. I have to use a fully charged battery? I don't think so. So as you saw here, it couldn't do it. I brought in the little Milwaukee, the old, you know, from 2012, 2013, and it was able to do it. But so we don't have any confusion of that the Dewalt loosened it. All right. We're going to try it with the Milwaukee at 125. And remember, this only has a 3 amp hour battery on it. All right. Now, this only has a 2. But as big as the Dewalt goes right now is a 3. All right. So the 3 amp hour battery is as big as you can get this. All right, so let's put this at 125. All right, 125. All right, so 125 was able to do it. It's weak. I don't know what people are testing this on, but we did it with the 22 millimeter, right? Dodge Ram 1500. We even went down to an 18 millimeter from a 22. You're going to get around 100, you know, 110 maybe with this. At least this one, guys. I don't know what to tell you. But I've tested it 3 times now, and that's, unless I got a defective one, it is what it is. All right. So we did the 18 millimeter test. We did a 22 millimeter test with the Dewalt. All right. So now we're going to do a 21 millimeter test. All right. So we just tried doing 125 foot-pounds. Okay. With an 18 millimeter. The Dewalt couldn't do it. And this is why this whole thing, I wasn't even going to bring this Milwaukee into this video at all. But it was the only impact that was around. So I grabbed it, and luckily it was a 12 volt. So kind of made it at least similar. But we did it with the Dodge Ram 1500 at 130 foot-pounds. We just did the 18 millimeter test. Now we're going to do a 21 millimeter test. All right. We're going to set it at the same foot-pounds that we did with the Dodge Ram, 130. And we'll see if the Milwaukee could do it or the Dewalt can do it. Let's see. We'll start with the Dewalt. But first, let me show you the torque. All right, right at the 0, 130. All right, 130 foot-pounds, just like the Dodge Ram. Okay, let's see what we got here. All right, it's on high. Battery's fully charged, 2 amp hour. I tell you, if this thing did have 200 foot-pounds, it would be the most powerful impact wrench per weight and per size probably on the market. It's that light and compact. 130. Not surprised there. All right, now we're going to move over to the Milwaukee brushed. All right, got a fully charged battery on here. It's a 3 amp hour. All right, so the Dewalt had a 2. This has a 3. Now remember, with Dewalt, the biggest battery you can get right now is a 3. Okay, with this Milwaukee brushed, I can put a 6 on here if I wanted to, but we're going to use a 3. And this is the CP, not the XC, obviously. All right, so you can see, look at the IPM difference. All right, compared to this. If you can, or if you remembered. But this one obviously spins much faster. And that socket really fits nice on here. With the Milwaukee, so much slower. But does it have the power? All right, 130. Still can't get this off. Let's see if the Milwaukee can do it. Too much for both of them. Now, I'm not surprised because it couldn't do 125, right, with an 18, the Dewalt. All right, now, the Milwaukee did 125, but that was with an 18. It's got it. So, again, really struggling. I can show you. All right. Really too much for this too. But it's not about the Milwaukee versus the Dewalt. Again, this whole video was started only because, you know, they say this has 200 foot-pounds. And, you know, I've gotten some comments about, you know, somebody did this, somebody did that. And I'm like, I just don't see it, guys. I'll try it again. You know, when I did the Dodge Ram video with the 22 millimeter at 130,
the battery was at 2 bars. And I had people comment saying, well, it didn't work because it wasn't a fully charged battery. That's a cop-out right there. Because you can't expect your tool to have a fully charged battery every time you use it or when you need to use it to get an application done. So, you know, that's kind of ridiculous. But obviously we charged it fully, and 200 foot-pounds is a lot. And I said that as soon as I did the unboxing of this, that I would be absolutely shocked if this did 200 foot-pounds, just because of the size of it. Again, if you don't own this thing is, like I said, if this was able to do 200 foot-pounds per weight, per size, this would probably be one of the most powerful impacts out there. But I can't say I'm not surprised, but we'll have to see. I might have to end up getting another one, and here's the size comparison. But, you know, the thing with the Milwaukee is this is rated for 100 foot-pounds. All right, so you know exactly what you're getting with this. The fact that I had to struggle here for, you know, a minute to get 130 off is about right. Makes sense. Okay? It's only, you know, it's spec'd to do 100 foot-pounds. This is spec'd to do 200. All right? So, that's it in a nutshell, folks. That being said, for $99, if again, just like I said in the Dodge Ram video, if you're doing work with a 12 volt, you shouldn't use a 12 volt really, or you're not really using a 12 volt unless it's really under 100 pounds anyway. Now, obviously, there's a Milwaukee stubby out there that can do 250, but, you know, most people that are using a 12 volt impact are not using it for high torque applications like lug nuts and stuff like that. So for $99, if you're using this for, you know, small lags, you know, stuff like that, I think there's a lot of value here. Again, you get two 2 amp hour batteries, but just don't be shocked if you're thinking it's going to do 200 foot-pounds, because you might be disappointed. We'll catch you on the flip.